Hello, hello, hello. All right, we are all set. Good morning, everybody. What's going on? Stefan, Sweet Berserk, what's going on, my friends? How are you? Happy Friday. What's up? What's up? As usual, let me get this posted around real quick. Jeff, Hit, Jay, Lucas, Rukin, William. What's up, people? Already 30 people jumping in here. What's up, everybody? Thanks for stopping by. All right, we got that posted. Do Discord and Twitter. Really quick, Brian, what's up? Happy Friday. How's everybody doing? Anybody been banned? Kidding. All right, let me get this link in. Got that. Put it on Twitter. Just got here. What's up with Heartland? Chris, that is a great question, and I will answer that as soon as let me just finish posting this, and we can talk about Heartland. That's my favorite thing to talk about. Cheryl, what's going on? Falling deep with boredom. Oh, it's not. Everyone always says that. Sorry to bother you. It's never a bother, man. Never at all. But I'm happy to come in and to solve your boredom on this Friday. All right, let me finish this. If I can. All right. Got that link out. Oh, we got Delta in here. What's going on, dude? What up, what up? All right, just had to do that. Now we're good. Reposition my mic there. Implicitly said welcome through stumbling into like Zoink Scoob. That's a great name. What's going on? Good morning. Good day to you, Brant. What's going on, Delta? What are you doing? Wish we could play. But good old crossplay, am I right? Alright, let's get some countdown going. And we will... That's not what I wanted to do. I'll choose my target loop. We'll get to chatting. But, to answer Chris's question... Chris, are you saying, like, what's the latest on Heartland, or you don't know what Heartland is? Felix, what's going on? I tried a variant of Striker Memento, and I'm loving. Nice, dude. Ever since I put that build together, it's hard to go back to anything else. I've really
Another agent has joined your group.
Come to like it quite a lot. Also, we almost have 50 people in here. Thank you all so much for jumping in and hanging out. Hope you're having a good Friday. When's it dropping? We still don't have a confirmed release date, unfortunately. What we do have is the most recent video I made was talking about how Ubisoft has just set their date for the next Ubisoft Forward, which was going to be during E3, but now E3 is canceled and they backed out of it before that. And so June 12th, 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern time, is when Ubisoft is holding their next Forward event. So it's just about 2.5 months. And I think without question, obviously, could not happen. But I'd be willing to bet a lot that we're going to hear the next big update on Heartland there. Get a lot more details about the game, maybe even finally get an actual release date. So I think that's what we have to look forward to. And I'm definitely looking forward to that. That stream we did of Ubisoft Forward back in September was the biggest stream we ever had on the channel. It was a ton of fun to do, and so I really can't wait to do that again with that one. It's going to be sick. Need Heartland ASAP? You know it, man. What's up, Michael? How you doing? Glad you made it, man. How's your Friday? Oh, I'm the leader. Shoot. It's like, why is no one going? But I could have looked at the thing in the corner. Too busy talking to chat. Just found out about Heartland and your channel popped up when I was searching in YouTube. That is awesome to hear, Mr. K. Welcome in. And yeah, you're looking at the premier Heartland channel right here. I'm kidding. Of course, there's a lot of people that are going to cover Heartland, but I'm immensely excited for the game. And when it drops, you're gonna see some wild coverage on here. So I hope you'll stick around. But welcome.
Rikers have taken the power plant. Not sure what they're trying to do with a nuclear reactor, but they've triggered the safety protocols. The plant.
I'm using the Devil's Due perfect clutch and switch to strikers. Nice.
We need to
Mark's
remove the
almost huge
safeguards
jump for
and
damage.
restart the reactor.
If you... Oh, I see. I see what you mean. You might want to try... Oh, I don't want the game... Oh, did we glitch it?
Reactor unstable. Emergency lockdown protocols.
Well, that's not worth doing with 3 people. What was I going to say? Lucas, you might want to try Picaros instead of Walker. I think, yeah, if you're just using one, you get 15% damage instead of just 5. I'd try that out maybe, but that sounds good. 70 people in here already. Welcome in, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. If you've not already and you want to support the stream of the channel, I'd very much appreciate you hitting that like button. But hope you all are ready for an awesome stream. Obviously, there's been a lot going on with the Division 2 lately. I'm sure there's going to be lots to talk about there. But let's chill. Fire in those questions. Gonna try and get a non-glitched countdown lobby here. Just started playing a PC playthrough. Level 17 right now. Well, welcome. Hope you're enjoying. What should I focus on? You know, really just the campaign. That's really all there is to it. Do the campaign. If you have the Warlords of New York expansion, that's what you have to get through to get to the end game, quote unquote, where the majority of the players are at. So really, I would say just play through the campaign, enjoy it, learn the systems as you go. Do Warlords, and then you can start worrying about collecting a bunch of gear and all that stuff once you hit the end game. Haven't played D2 in at least a year, so worth jumping back in. If you haven't played since Year 4 began, then there is a lot more to do. That's when content kind of restarted. There's a new game mode, Countdown, that I'm playing right now. We got a lot of stuff coming up with Year 5. There's a lot of story stuff to tackle, so if you haven't played in over a year from right now, then I would say yeah.
Infiltrated the power plant. They triggered a lockdown.
Andrew, what's going on? Good morning, how you doing?
Anywhere near a nuclear reactor.
Face on Marco, who... I mean, that's a tall order to clear, at least back when he was doing his Division videos. I still don't know how you do that kind of editing and stuff. Dang it, dude, I don't want to see the freaking Gameology backpack, I want to see the Ninja Bike.
Emergency lockdown protocols activated.
Come on now.
Lockdown.
Come on, appearance glitch. Did I fix it? Yeah. Chris, I'm on Xbox. Jay, what's going on? What's your preferred non-exotic AR? Kind of like the Shield Splinter at present. Nice. Shield Splinter is fun. My favorite non-exotic AR is the Carbine 7. But there are a lot of ones that are good. And we got the close range damage buff. This is going to be an absolute shredder of a round. Can you get the Eagle Bear from any DZ? You can. It's a very low drop chance, but you can. Your chances are improved by targeted loot. That was confirmed by one of the developers recently. But yeah.
Disrupted.
Last time I played, I remember using the Bullet King build. It's been so long. Yeah, the Bullet King came out with the Warlord, so if you used it when it first came out, then yeah. Still a fun gun though, for sure. Let's do containment. Already 80 people in here. Welcome in, folks. Yeah, for sure, Lucas. Although remember that you can't get a Picaros with double reds. You can only put either armor or a skill tier on that top one. But if you're getting 15% weapon damage, that's already more than walkers, and then you just get a free armor roll. So I think that'd be a win-win. Close range damage with this build, with someone using ongoing directive. That's a beautiful thing to see. Michael coming in with the 5 gifted memberships, dude. Thank you so much. As always, incredibly generous and kind of you. Delta Punisher, Silo, Tony, and Matei. Welcome to Rogue Studios. Be sure to drop Michael a thank you down in the chat. Thank you, man. As always, too generous. Anybody who did just get gifted a membership, keep in mind that you now have access to some pretty... Ooh, baby. In commemoration, got to get that 12% mod. You now have access to some pretty awesome badges and emotes here on the channel, and also if you join our Discord server... Why does it do this, dude? I don't want to be talking in game, but it always has that weird bug. If you join our Discord server and you pair your YouTube and Discord accounts, you will now have access to the private Rogue Studios channel. But thanks so much, Michael. The Dark Winter is a DZ exclusive, Josh, so if you've not been playing in the DZ, then that's what you're going to want to do. And if it's ever targeted SMGs, then that's your best chance. Yeah, Keith, the DZ is the Wild West, so... I play the DZ a lot, and I personally haven't gotten one of the exotics yet since Season 11 dropped, so it's a low chance, but... That's what you gotta do. Josh, that is the sign of you being a member. So, I presume that somebody kind in here, either Michael, Lucas, Richard, or somebody gifted you a membership in one of the past streams. So you get that cool badge, you get some emojis to use on here, you get Discord access, you get some cool stuff. Also, as always, if I miss anyone's chat, just resend it. I feel like I missed a bunch of stuff up there once the memberships came in. I love responding to all of your guys' comments, but especially on these recent streams, it's been crazy with the amount of stuff that's flying by in the chat. So if I miss it, I apologize. Just resend it. Appreciate you all being here, though. Got 100 people in here already. Thank you all for spending some of your Friday with me. Yeah, Silo's using those emojis. That's what we like to see. That's a rarity. I guess I've been pretty lucky. Everyone, like, it's only happened to me a few times in the last week or two. Everyone's saying it's still a huge issue for them. What's good is that a lot of the stuff we're facing right now, from what I've seen, is going to be fixed in 17.2. all the Ninja Bike stuff, the countdown stuff, the appearance stuff. Seems like pretty much all the big issues right now are being fixed with that. Hopefully that's coming next week.
Head to the administration building.
But I'm going to talk about that in a video pretty soon. The waffle lady. That's a great, Lucas. What is the best LMG? Statistically, I couldn't tell you. I'm not too deep into the numbers like that. All I know is that my personal favorite, at least one of them, if I'm using like a high damage build, is the MG5. I'm a big MG5 fan. Power Mom, what's going on, dude? What's up, what's up? What's Countdown about in Division 2? It is a game mode. We're playing it right now where you get a group of 8 people together, or you can matchmake for it. And then you have 15 minutes to complete these different objectives. There's a lot of intensity. They throw hunters in there, and then you try and extract. And it's easily one of the most intense. That extraction portion is one of the most intense encounters anywhere in the Division franchise. It's a lot of fun.
Agent, you've reached
You'll
the
see it in just a second.
administration building.
It's a really
I
great
need you
game
to
mode.
fix the comms.
I really enjoy it. Tias, hope I'm saying that right. What's up? How you doing? Good to be part of the stream out there. Thanks, Michael. Thank you, thank you.
I know it's your favorite job.
You all flatter me too much.
Control room and find the server.
I am nobody. I hope you are as well. I mean, how could I not? We have 120 friends in here chilling, hanging, talking. What more could I ask for? The Slayer. I mean, the Slayer's talent has potential. Like, if you hit a headshot with that thing, Confuse is not a suspect to trifle with. I was going to scroll up and try and catch some of what I missed, but... Again, if I ever miss any of your guys' questions or chats, feel free to resend them. It's not on purpose. Brian, what's going on, dude? How have you been? Finlay, what up? Look at all these wonderful
Nice
folks
job.
jumping in.
You're a pro. Now, find another server.
I am curious. Has anybody in here, either yourself or anybody you know of, received a ban yet?
Iris target approaching.
I don't think they've done all of them yet, but I know they have sent out some. Where's this guy spawning in here? Something weird happened just now. I was doing a bid. Actually, run down core attribute. Yeah, that one specific piece is bugged, and I think that's getting fixed with Season 11 as well. It's on the known issues board. What is that thing called? The No, it's not the Emperor. Is it the regular? I thought it was the named one, but I don't know. But yeah, that's going to be fixed pretty soon. I saw that thumbnail, Delta. I didn't watch the video yet. Was it good? If so, I'll watch it after this.
Evacuate the facility.
Whoever said that. One more server and we'll be successful.
What's up with the Ninja backpack? It's still bugged? Yeah. That is all getting fixed up in 17.2, which should be coming in the near future. A lot of that stuff is on the known issues board. if you guys ever check that out. It's got a lot of those things on there, and it gives you somewhat of a timeline of when they're going to fix it. Tony, I also saw that Regulus crafting issue is going to be fixed in 17.2. Like I said, a lot of stuff getting fixed up in that patch. So I'm hoping once that's out and dealt with, pretty much the game will be pretty stable, and we can move on to the Year 5 Season 1 PTS. That's what I'm most excited for at this point. Descent is on the horizon, and I am very excited to try it out. My friend PlayStation got one. 14 days. What's going on, Phoenix? It was okay, you just said that you should never be in. I will say this about the bans. From what I heard, and this is not fully confirmed, but from what I heard, they only started monitoring for people doing it after they sent out that notification on, what was that, Tuesday? So in that case, it's like you had pretty much all of the warnings you could to stop doing it. Already it's against the TOS, so legally, and I know this isn't practical, but legally you should know that it's wrong, even though I understand that not everyone, the majority of people don't read that. It's against the TOS. And then they gave out a reminder in-game and on Twitter. There was no way you missed that notification saying that you were going to get banned for doing this. And so, if that is true, that they only started flagging people if they kept doing it after the warning went out on Tuesday, then really that's no one's fault other than your own.
System curtailed.
Get on that helo. You've got hunters incoming.
The ninja bug is that if you don't put, like, if you enter different instances in the wrong, well, yeah, if you switch your instances, like if you go from the White House and you enter a game mode or you go into conflict or something like that,
An agent has gone offline.
it can take away some of the bonus, like the brand bonuses on your gear. It'll take away some of the One Piece bonuses, and you have to, like, re-equip stuff in a specific order to reactivate it. So that's going to get fixed up pretty soon.
System reactivated.
Michael, I will try to find it. They don't advertise it super well. Like, they post about it sometimes, but the only reason I'm able to go to it super quick is because I have it bookmarked on my other computer.
System disrupted.
It would be nice if they had a more direct link to it somewhere. Because I feel like even when you search it up sometimes, it doesn't pop up right away. Actually, you know, maybe I should just add that to my video descriptions or something. That'd probably be useful. Mr. K, there was an XP farm going on in the game that because so many people were there doing it and killing ads in the same spot, it was causing lag for huge other areas of the game for everybody, even people that weren't doing the glitch. So it was a farm that itself was against TOS, but was also negatively affecting the experience of everyone else. So not great. And so they've now started banning people who are doing it after being warned.
System disrupted.
Who are still doing it, that is. So they got a 14-day suspension, and then if they come and do it again after they come back from that ban, they'll get a permanent ban.
Hostile artificer hive detected. System restored.
Yeah, I got you, Keith. Well, and that, you know, at least that's kind of what's nice about it, is that they give you one chance. Like, your first one's 14 days. And if you come back and you still choose to do it, then we'll ban you permanently. And that's, you know, I'd say that's fair. You got one chance to correct your mistake. Other than that, you're out.
Kilo is ready when you are. Shoot a flare to signal Taurus.
Gerard, what's going on? How you doing? 130 people in here hanging out. Thank you all so much for being here. If you have not already, we just passed 50 likes. So if you want to support the stream and the channel, I'd very much appreciate you clicking that like button.
Taurus is on her way.
But I hope everyone's having a good Friday. That's always been my thing, Silos, even like floor 10 back in the day.
Ready for extraction.
I just find those farms incredibly boring. I'd rather do resource convoys where I actually get to run around the map a bit and try and be super efficient at it and all that, and it's just more stimulating, you know? But that's just me. Razor, from what I've seen, unlike with the damage glitch 3 years ago or whatever, only people who have engaged with the glitch have been banned so far, again, from what I've seen.
The power grid in this region.
So, I wouldn't be scared to play the game normally. I think you're totally fine to do that. Lucas coming in with the 7-month membership. Thank you for supporting for so long, man. Drop the like, people. Just drop it. Just do it. Also, Cranky Pants coming up, member of Rogue Studios. Welcome and thank you so much for that support. Thank you, dude. As I said earlier to the people who got gifted it, you know, I have access to some pretty sweet emojis here on the channel, and if you want to join our Discord server and link up your YouTube account, you get access to the private server we got going on there. But thank you so much, man. This build I'm running, you can look at it right there while I talk. Someone was asking, Jack and Black, did I watch Marco's retrospection video? I did. As always, super high production value. He makes some quality videos in terms of, you know, the editing and all that. The points, he made some good points for sure. The one part that I thought was odd about his video was that he basically took the entire video to say the Dark Zone. I watched this a few weeks ago, so I might have a few details murky. But his basic point was the Dark Zone was his favorite experience within the division, but it was doomed to fail because the game is not focused around that type of an experience. But then he goes and says that he just completely disregards Heartland and says that Heartland is doomed to fail without really giving any explanation for that. When from everything we've heard about Heartland, it's a survival action shooter. It's more focused on that type of an experience. I thought that was a bit odd of a conclusion to make, and it seemed to me like he was somewhat letting his disinterest with the franchise cloud some of the judgments he could have been making there. But as always, like I said, super well done, and he did make some good points in there. Wish Massive would publish Div 2 data. I feel like there's some cool things that could be done with it. Absolutely. I mean, back in the day when Yannick was one of the comm devs, him and Hamish, he used to do like the stats with Yannick segment on State of the Game. That was always a lot of fun to see those. I expect lots of hand-holding. Brad, what's up? How you doing? Blue Funk has also joined Rogue Studios. Thank you so very much for that support, dude. Thank you. I'll say it again. Be sure to join the Discord and link up your YouTube account if you want to join the private server on there. We got our 12% mod. That's awesome. And do all that cool stuff. You got emojis on here, all of the things. But thank you so much for that support, dude. Thank you. And Primate coming in with the 9-month message, dude. What is up, man? Long time no talk. Just popping in to say hello. Hope you're doing well, man. I know things have been busy, but I appreciate you stopping by. Thank you, everybody, for your Kindness and generosity as always. Time flies indeed. Well, not when it comes to the Heartland release date, huh? Been waiting on that one for 2.5 years. No, not 2 years yet. It'll be 2 years in May. That's right. Do you not get bored when you're that good and kill everything so easy? Well, I'm flattered. Thank you. I wouldn't say bored is the right word. It's almost relaxing in a way, if that makes sense. I mean, the reason I've loved The Division and continue to play it after so long is because of how much I love the gameplay. Gameplay is king for me in any game I play, and Division's gameplay has always been top notch. And so it's kind of fun being pretty proficient at it, and I don't know. Like I said, relaxing in a way. Good morning to you, Jeff. How you doing? I see a Div2 is dead comment in the chat, and to that, all I will say is, if the game was going to die, it would have died in the 14 months that they didn't release any new content. I'd say we're doing pretty all right. I've been running almost nothing but convoys for the last week or two, at least. And bands, fingers crossed. Yeah, for sure. No, from what I've heard, I mean, Morton said this himself on Twitter that resource convoys are totally safe. I was worried that they might have some error in their system where it accidentally flagged people, but I've not been banned, and I did a ton of resource convoys, and I haven't heard of anybody who didn't do the Fei Lao farm who hasn't been banned yet, or who has been. So I think we're in the clear.
Cleaners have infiltrated the power plant.
It was with the ninja bike, Lucas, so I was getting the 4-piece. Phoenix, what's up? For heroic / countdown, what do you think is the better exotic backpack, memento or ninja bike? On average, the memento is better. There are cases, like with the build I was just running, where the ninja bike works really well if you set up the build correctly. But on average, the memento is, I would say, still the stronger piece.
High levels of radiation detected.
They're closing in on the target.
Your gear is godlike. As God rolls, that's what I strive for. And what's going on, man? How you doing?
System malfunctioning.
Yeah, for sure, Brant. You know, it's just like you come home after a long day of work. You sit down and you play some Div. That's just my thing. No, John, you do not need to worry about that at all. The only thing they're banning for, I mean, I shouldn't say the only thing because I guess there were other farming methods that I was unaware of, but the Fei Lao farm and only exploitative things like that are what you're going to get banned for. Nothing that's a normal function of the game is going to get you in any kind of trouble.
Shade tech detected.
The Italian division indeed. What's up, man? Good to see you in here. What did I miss up here? Someone was asking. Drew, what's going on? Is there a projected release date for Heartland? Projected by Ubisoft? No. My inclination is still that it will be released this year. Of course, that could be wrong. There's been a lot of things with Heartland that have been wrong in the past. But the last official thing we heard from Ubisoft was that they were tracking for a late 2022, early 2023 release date. At this point, obviously that's not happening. But the fact that they were committing to a release date like that tells me that it's pretty close, even though it's not coming out within that window. So I think within this calendar year, almost for sure. I won't say completely for sure, but almost for sure. I think we'll hear about it at E3, and they'll say it's scheduled sometime for the fall. That's my guess.
Incoming. High risk hostile.
Well, Venom, that's exactly what they're doing with the bans, because all of the deltas were related to the XP farms. So they are tackling that as we speak.
Area secure.
Alright, we got this. Again, love how much everyone is chatting in the chat. Thank you all so much for keeping it lively. If I miss your chat, I apologize. Just resend it. It's not intentional. Trying to keep up. I'm on Xbox, Phoenix. No more than today, Magic. Doesn't seem like... Oh, someone's already in here. Very nice. I don't think Heartland comes out anytime soon, if even time. I assume you mean if ever. All I can say is we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. The sharpshooter spec can actually use the same sniper. The sharpshooter spec probably is the coolest weapon. I think the TAC 50 is a ton of fun. But thanks so much for tuning in, Nightmare. Hope you're having a good run, and I am flattered that you would at all be motivated by listening to this to want to do that. I would have to give it my entire willpower to not stop from boredom. Friday's here indeed. What's up, Rules? How you doing? Also, appreciate the 150 people we have hanging out in here. Y'all are great. Is there an appearance mod bug on the backpacks right now? Yes, there is. To my knowledge, that is being fixed in 17.2. If you guys want, I can show you how to fix that once this run is over. It's pretty easy to fix it. And so if people want to see that, I'm happy to run through that quick after this.
Target neutralized. Incoming. High risk hostile.
What's the best method for getting decent gear quickly after being out of the game for so long? Inform about any additional tips. The tip I always give Orc is doing what I'm doing right now, which is countdown. The countdown game mode gives you, I think, the highest quantity of loot for time invested. It's super easy to do. Just play it on challenging. You get match made with 8 people. You don't have to take on the brunt of the work. And you're going to get a lot of gear with decently good rolls. Like you can see, this is on challenging, and that's what I got for rolls. Pretty good. You can set your target loot. You can choose whatever you want to target out of the entire game. All this stuff. And I would say on average, I get like 50 or 60 items per run. And they're only 15-minute sessions, so it's quite good. At last, I could write in chat. What's up, Ryan? Were you blocked from writing in chat for some reason? It's a skill, Big Tree. You know, I've refined it over time, but it does take a good bit of multitasking. It helps to play a game that I'm so familiar with because I can kind of look to the side and play at the same time. But yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, Gerard, I'll show you after this run. Anything about the Regulus? They're fixing the Regulus crafting bug with 17.2. Yes, that's on the known issues board. Lucas, I think that is incorrect. Well, yeah, if you play on normal, you definitely get lower tier loot because they wanted to make sure that was the case so people didn't just play that over the higher tier ones.
Agent, you've reached the waste area. I need you to secure the radioactive.
They are not nerfing the hotshot gear set.
Protocols.
Had to wait a full 1 minute, right? Oh, yeah. I apologize for that, but it's... Basically, if I don't turn on something like that kind of a system, then I just get spammed with bots. That happened for the first several months when I streamed, and it was incredibly annoying, so... that was the measure I had to take. Hopefully YouTube implements better bot prevention stuff in the future.
That's the source of the leak. Now we just need to seal those tanks.
So I don't want to have to spend my stream banning banning a bunch of bot accounts. Not very fun. To be fair, or to be honest, Countdown is harsh for new players since every experience just kick you out. I don't know. It told me that OBS disconnected, but I think everything's still good. Alright, thanks, Delta. I don't know what that was about. Cool, cool, cool. Any experience I've ever seen with Countdown, I've never seen people kick low shade players. I've played with people in here who are like shade level 15. As long as they can, you know, follow along with the group, it doesn't really impact it too much.
Radiation detected at acceptable level. High risk target detected.
Alright, sweet. Thank you all. Just wanted to be sure. Only one question, how do I get a list of all your builds so I can copy them? Flattered that you think my builds are that good. I have a playlist here on the channel that shows off pretty much all the main builds I use I've made videos on. So if you just go and look at those videos, I show the breakdown for all of the gear there. And anything from like TU15 to now is still relevant. And that's pretty much the majority of the builds I have in my loadout. So I would recommend checking that out. Just go to the channel thing, playlists, and you'll see Division 2 build videos on there. I've been kicked out quite a few times, Shade 400. That's weird. I'm sorry to hear that. I don't know why people care. You can see in here we have a 238, a 490. Yes, there is a way to get an extended mag. You're going to want to play tier 4 control points. And those, every time you complete one, will give you a random mod to craft. If you go and check at your crafting station and go to mods and magazines, you'll see if you have the blueprint or not already. But that's how you get those blueprints, is by doing tier 4 control points. And you can get an extended mag for a 762.
System restored. Immediate medical assistance needed.
I will say on that, Michael, the Google thing, I looked into that once because it was like giving info on other stuff that I'm interested in. Google just basically uses some sort of algorithm to collect a bunch of information from the internet that may or may not actually be true, and it just kind of, I don't know what the word is, bundles it all together and makes like a statement. So like if there's a bunch of people saying, for example, Heartland's gonna come out this year, even if they don't know, Google's just gonna see that information and be like, oh, it must be true, and just put that on there. To my knowledge, that's how that works. So I wouldn't put too much faith in that, but even though I agree with what it's saying. Can you please tell me why Ubisoft doesn't dump a bunch of resources and manpower into this franchise like they do Assassin's Creed? You know what, Six Blades? I wish I could tell you that. But I don't have the answer, and it eludes me as to why they don't. I think if they put as much resources into the Division as they did Assassin's Creed, Division could easily be their most popular and fiscally successful IP. So, I don't know why they don't quite have the faith in it that I think they should, but I don't own the IP. I mean, if they had made Division 2 and off the bat given it at least like three years worth of expansions and content planned from the start, They could have done so many big things, and this easily could have been as big as and as successful as Destiny 2, right? Have several different cities we can travel between, do more gear reworks, keep up with balancing, add in new game modes and content and open world stuff. Like, easily could have been such a big game. And they could have done that with the original Division. I understand the reasons why they want to make a sequel. They wanted to refine some of the netcode and some of the more foundational stuff that they couldn't really change from that game. But yeah. Are you looking forward to Division Resurgence on mobile, and are you going to use the Xbox controller? That's my plan. I might get one of those things you can like put your phone into, but I'm probably just going to Bluetooth my Xbox controller. And I am looking forward to it. Definitely not as much as like Heartland, but I'm really excited to be able to just, you know, when I'm out somewhere, open up my phone and like play a game of Conflict on my phone. That's going to be so fun. Is Countdown still good to farm for exotics? Just as good as anywhere else. They haven't changed anything. Exotics have a set drop rate, and that is influenced by targeted loot. So Countdown is a nice place because you can choose whatever you want to try and get. And you get a lot of items, so yeah.
Safe area entered.
You think the guy with shade 940,000 got banned? I saw that. I would hope so, because, you know, I see a lot of people saying someone's got 20,000 shade, they're cheating. Not necessarily. There are cases where people are just super dedicated, and the system has been out for 3 years. So there's cases where people are in the tens of thousands, and that's legit, because they just, all they do is play to level up their SHD. But yeah, the guy with 940k shade is definitely not legit. And I saw he had like 3.5 million health. That was insane. What's going on, Postman? Once you have the ninja, does it become available in the standard loot pool? It does. You have to first unlock a new exotic in the season track, and then it's in the general loot pool. All right, let's show. Okay, this is perfect. So I have this backpack. I think Gerard was asking earlier if you're still here. I'll show anyone how to fix the appearance bug right now. So if your backpack is showing the wrong thing like this, well, it's only when I go in my menu for some reason. But anyway, all you do, if it's showing the wrong one, the first thing you want to do is look to see if any other backpack is showing that same skin. So for example, the survivalist one with the arrows, it's this one. So I just go in here, go to the appearance slot, on and off that one, and then I usually spam a few of these just to kind of reset it. And then it should show the memento like that. That's all you have to do. Any tips on a low-level SHD for PvP? I'm new to the Division, but love playing it. Whoops, it skipped by. Yeah, no problem, Gerard. Any tips on a low-level shade for PvP? Have you checked out my beginner's guide to PvP video, Apples? Because I made over an hour-long guide to PvP where I kind of go over everything I could possibly suggest. So if you've not, oops, oh yeah, I already done it. If you've not checked that out, that's what I would recommend. A lot of people who have watched it have told me that it helped them out a lot, and I can link you that if you haven't seen it. RogueGold in the building. What's up, Ramon? How you doing?
Hey, good looking.
Do you think the devs will ever use New York for seasonal manhunt? The image makes more sense for the story. They did back in like season 3 and 4, and I liked it. I hope we get more stuff with New York in year 5. I want to talk about that in a video soon. So the answer is I don't know, but I hope so.
You have received an invite to another agent's group.
Have I missed anything newsworthy? I mean, we're just chatting about the recent stuff, you know. the bands, some Heartland talk, all that jazz. Watch it 5 times now and run your build. So flat 3v1. Well, that's kind of that is the problem, Apples, is that really no matter what you do, it's very hard to win a 3v1, no matter who you are. Against people who are experienced with PvP. That's kind of just how the Division 2's PvP is set up. It's a bit unfortunate. I wish the game had a bit of a higher skill ceiling. But especially since the game lost its dedicated PvP balancing team a few years ago, it's just, there's not much happening to really revitalize, you know, what's going on with that. But can't output the same damage. If you are, half the team just... I don't really want to do a 4-person countdown. No offense to these people. What was I going to say? If you are low SHD level, there's really not much else you can do other than just to level that up. I wish I could offer somewhat of an alternative, but if you're only like at 100, 200, I would say at least getting to like 500 shade is probably where you want to be to start doing PvP. Rules, I saw that it's the Continental, and that's really cool. I also love that control point because it plays the music from the first ever Division trailer.
Invite to another agent's group received. You have joined.
It's must watch for gameplay settings alone. Thank you, Derek. Thank you. Saw myself on stream. Were you in the boo? In the area there. Also, thank... it's not the right way to say that. Thank all 175 of you for being in here and hanging out. That's crazy.
Communication relay.
If you have not already, we're quickly coming up on 100 likes, so if you want to support the stream and the channel, I would appreciate it. But thanks for chilling and hanging. If you got stuff you want to ask about or talk about, throw it in the chat. She'll sit quietly and continue watching the stream. Well, if you got more questions, I mean, always feel free to ask. But yeah, it's... Obviously, I'm not saying that's the most ideal way that they should have set up PvP, but it's kind of the reality that there are some kind of prerequisites that you have to kind of do to be ready for it. And the reality is that the majority of people that are left playing PvP are people who have been playing it for a long time and are just going to have an advantage over you until you kind of get in there a bit and just learn what's up with it. There have not been new PvP additions to the game in several years. And so, yeah.
System reactivated.
The Div 1 DZ is definitely the most atmospheric and lively, in my opinion. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Big Tree, that is another issue that they are going to be fixing, I think, with 17.2. If not soon after. They're going to change the scope to a C79 so that you can actually scope in with it. Nicholas, how's it going? What's up, what's up? I'm going to go do something else because we're going to have to do one of these anyway.
Secure the area so we can bring in the engineer.
VIP is not the most favorable either. Since the main message, how has gameplay been so far? I have not encountered a bunch of lag or issues, so on my end, pretty good. Also, thank you all so much for the likes. I said we just crossed 100. Thank you, thank you.
System breach initiated.
Apple's coming in with the donation. It's only a small amount, but you've helped out a lot already. Thanks, Rogue. No need to discredit anything like that. I greatly appreciate the generosity and support. Thank you, thank you. Man, that is incredibly appreciated. I'm happy to help out in any way I can. So thank you for that kindness, dude. The Sacrum Imperium needs a lot more changes beyond just the scope, in my opinion. I think it's a terribly undertuned exotic. Which is unfortunate because of how cool it looks. Also, Andrew coming in with the 4-month membership, man. Thank you so much for the support, dude. You know I appreciate you. Thank you, thank you. Alright, we gotta go get this other one. Yeah, for sure, Tree. I don't know why they originally put the scope on it that they did. Unfortunately, I don't know if just the scope change is really going to help make it a ton better. It'll help a little bit, but I don't know. What do you think about the Lady Death, David? I love the Lady Death. I think it's got an awesome look. I love its talent, how it helps with movement and all that. Honestly, I think the Lady Death is a good example of one of the better tuned exotics in the game. It's not so overpowered that it outclasses everything else, but it's also not something you want to mess around with. If someone's got it set up right, it can be very powerful. So, big ups on the Lady Death. Of course, we have to thank Richard for keeping me in. Sure. But you're always showing up and supporting Andrew, and I greatly appreciate that. Alright, you got this other server up here. Oh, I thought they were spawning right there. It's just one red ad.
Follow all lockdown safety protocols.
An agent has reconnected.
Well, the Lady Death increases your damage by a ton as well as your speed. It's not just the speed. Where's people at? Hey. There we go. Solo cleared it.
Agent, you should be able to access the waste area.
Back to contamination. What's the best way to get proficiency? Level up was using countdown, but that's not always an option now. My way to do it was always countdown. But the same method could technically be applied anywhere else. If you still have a lot of stuff to level up, I like to put a build on with majority stuff I don't have proficiency leveled up. That way I'm getting the passive experience while I'm playing. And then target loot something that you don't have. So either a category of weapons or a gear set or a brand set. And just pick all of them up as junk. And then donate them in chunks. That was the way that I got mine high up. I know you're interested in Arc Raiders. Is there another loot shirt coming out this year? First Descendant, if you heard of it. Yeah, I saw the first Descendant. I actually did not a dedicated video, but I talked about it in a video a while ago. It seems fine. I'm not overly looking forward to it. As far as other looter shooters, there aren't really a ton that I'm looking forward to. Division has enough stuff going on at this point that's what I got time for, you know? Div 2, once Heartland drops, that's going to take a lot of my time. I do want to to look into Arc Raiders. The other game besides those that I am really excited for and and contemplating covering on here is the Last of Us multiplayer game. I think it's going to be right up my alley in terms of the type of experiences it offers, just from what we've heard of it so far. And I'm really looking forward to find out more about that. How long did it take for you to get the Coyotes mask? I was playing back during Season 1 when it was on the reward track. So I got it within like 2 hours of it going live, because it was at rank like 35 on the track. Ghosty, what's up? How you doing? What about X-Defiant? I am excited for X-Defiant. Yeah, that is true. And they said that the next test is going to be non-NDA'd. So I will most likely do a stream of it once the next test is here. And that'll be really exciting. There's some fun Division stuff. I mean, not like relevant lore stuff, but just cool Easter eggs and maps in there to check out. So we'll do that for sure.
Great work. Now just seal that bunker and stop.
Sean, the rock and roll is a conflict exclusive. You get it very frequently from conflict caches. So if you play a few games of conflict and open those caches, you have a good chance of getting one.
Nice. The plan's secure.
Michael, it is still only going to be a PlayStation thing. It might be on PC, but they haven't given any of those details. So if it does look as good as I think it's going to, I am going to consider getting whatever the like slim model of the PS5 is, just to do that. Because I think it's going to be pretty sick. Obviously, we need to get more details. I need to actually see what it's all about. But yeah, and I did like the TV show. I did. What about Exoprimal? I looked that up recently for the first time, and that actually does look fun too. See, there's a lot of games like that where I think they do look a lot of fun, but I'm not like counting the days until they're out. That's what I'm doing with Heartland. But a lot of these other games, if they come out and there's a lot of buzz, I'll definitely try them out. I do think Exoprimal looks fun. I'm looking forward to X-Defiant, but they're kind of in that like B tier of excitement for me, you know.
System curtailed.
Agent, stay frosty. Hunters incoming.
Yes, David, Dark Hours is still the most efficient way to get the Eagle Bear. The Dark Zones are just a secondary way. The raids are still the best spot to get all of those exotics. You have the highest chance to get them there. Roaming, I will show off the build as soon as we are done with this run. And I do have a build video on it as well up on the channel that you can check out. Do you expect any of the Division news aside from Resurgence Heartland at the Ubisoft Forward event in June? Besides Heartland and Resurgence, it's a good question. I mean, as far as Division 2 is concerned, by then Year 5 Season 1 should be live. So I'm not expecting...
System reactivated.
It's hard to say. If they have some sort of big plan at the end of Year 5 for Div 2, they might talk about that. If there's potentially another spin-off in the works, they could talk about that. They have talked about how they are viewing Division as one of their big franchises they want to focus on moving forward. So if there are more plans in the works that we don't yet know about, Forward would be the time to announce that. So I won't say it's likely, but absolutely possible.
Shoot out the flare when you're ready for
Is this a... Okay, I thought that was a hunter.
Torres is on her way.
E3 got canceled? Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I don't know if they're ever gonna... It might be done after this. I really don't know. It does suck that I will probably never get to experience it like it used to be. Back in, what was the last one, 2018? Did they do it in 19? They probably did. But yeah, I'll probably never experience that.
Let's get you home, Agent.
Let's bounce.
Thanks to you, the locals will have heat and lights this winter. Thank you, Agent.
What do you think Heartland gameplay will be like? Well, we already have glimpses of it from the last trailer. There is gameplay in that I've gone over in videos. We know that they're introducing melee weapons, which is really sweet. I've always wanted melee weapons and bows in Division, so to just get one of those is super awesome. It looks like Division, which is what I think all any of us could hope for. I've always thought that the best movement system they could do is a combination of what Div 1 and Div 2 is. I think both of those games have pros and cons to their movement systems. Div 2 has a lot of really nice fluidity between cover and moving out and rolling and all that, I think. Excuse me. And Div 1 has some really great snappiness with the turning and stuff like that. So if they can kind of combine all that into one and add in melee weapons, I think that's going to be really sweet. I'm super into Division 2, so much so I literally haven't played a single other game since September of last year. That is dedication indeed. Alright, let's do one more countdown, and then I think we'll run a few conflict games. That'll be fun.
You have received an invite to another agent's group. You are now in a group.
Yeah, melees are going to be sick. Run around and whack somebody in the back with a hunter axe. Hell yeah. Can't wait for Heartland. You and me both, Phoenix. You and me both. It's going to be sweet. Oh, yes, the build. Thank you for reminding me. There you go. If you want the... Here, I'll post the full link in the chat. Get it here from this other video. Not going to play Heartland because I hate BR games. Who said it's a BR? Ubisoft certainly didn't say that. Red Storm didn't say that. All right, I'm posting a link for the build in the chat, and I will pin it, so feel free to check that out.
Communication relay offline.
What do you think about the legendary missions in Div 1 if they brought that for Div 2? We already have those.
Agent,
With
Outcast
the...
is taking over the
Are you talking about the ones for the main missions? Because we have...
Last thing
legendary missions for the 5 strongholds in the game, which is pretty much the same thing as what the legendaries were in Div 1.
We need to remove the safeguards and restart the reactor.
Reactor unstable. Emergency lockdown protocols activated. 15 minutes lockdown.
Please proceed to your nearest exit. Lockdown safety protocols initiated.
Shade tech detected.
Oh, he's so weak. There we go. What is this? Oh no. Oh no.
System curtailed.
What is going on here?
Agent down.
Is the stream lagging or is it just my game lagging?
An agent needs assistance. System back online.
That's pretty funny.
System disrupted.
Alright, good. Just want to make sure the stream's not gonna crap out here. He just went right through that.
System reactivated.
And to
Sniper turret.
the Heartland talk, the trailer we have for the game said it's a survival game. So that's the only, I was just teasing you about the BR thing, but there's no indication other than leaks from like 3 years ago. That's the only place that people got the idea it was a BR game. Everything that Ubisoft and Red Storm has said that that Heartland is a survival game. So I think that's what we can look forward to.
Rogue incinerator turret detected.
Hey, sweet, thanks so much for hanging out.
Incinerator turret.
I appreciate you. See you in the next one.
Hostile assault turret
You're snowed
detected.
too.
System restored.
I think that's a big misconception with what's happening with the game right now. Snowdrop as an engine isn't problematic. That's not why Div 2 is having problems. The reason it's having problems is that when they made it, however many years ago,
Hostile striker drone.
they didn't make it with the intention that different people would be trying to keep the game alive however many years later. Right? In game development, an engine gives you a lot of great tools, but it's still the people who make the game that decide how things are put together and how they're coded and whatnot. And if you have different people trying to maintain your code and work on your code years later, that's problematic, and we've seen that happen. Snowdrop itself is still a really great engine, and that's why Ubisoft is transitioning so many of their titles to it. They've said the new Far Cry stuff is going to be on there. Stuff like, obviously, Avatar and the Star Wars game are on there. So, Snowdrop itself is not problematic in that sense.
High-risk target approaching.
I don't feel right. Justice is served!
Area secure.
Rory coming in with the $10 donation. Thank you so much. Didn't even send a message, just wanted to support. That is very generous of you and very kind. Thank you so much. Oh, there. Hey, Rogue just got in D2, and I love it. Thanks for your videos. I've learned so much. Thank you so much for that. Super, super kind. I'm glad you are loving the game, and welcome in. If you just got it, I hope you continue to play and enjoy it. Thank you so much for that. You all are too kind.
To lockdown. Evacuate the facility.
Hey, sounds good, Brian. Have a fantastic weekend, man. I appreciate you tuning in, and I will see you around.
An agent has gone offline.
There's a rumor that Toronto is looking at Unreal 5 for Summer Sunset Snowdrop.
The target should be nearby.
Frankly, I don't know enough about how all that works to say if that's true or not. What I will say is I'm pretty sure that Ubi has mandates over that kind of stuff, and since Snowdrop is an in-house engine, I think, again, I don't know for sure, but I think that they are transitioning most of the company towards Snowdrop, because the rumor is that the updated version of Snowdrop, the version that they're going to use on Avatar and Star Wars, is as powerful as Unreal Engine 5. We just haven't seen a game really take advantage of it ever since The Division 2, which is obviously several years old. So we'll see once those games start to drop and preview what they're looking like. Again, I think it's a big misconception that Snowdrop is somehow problematic as an engine itself. The Division 2 is a very special case to the circumstance that it's in as far as development right now. What's going on, Keel? How you doing, man? Happy Friday to you. People don't realize this game is 4 years old. Yeah. Well, and it's not even just the age of it, because there are plenty of games that are super old that still work great and get worked on. It's the fact that the entire development team got completely removed and reinstated by people who had no prior experience with Snowdrop in Bucharest. So it's a very special scenario for the reason why we're experiencing some of the issues that we are, or that we have been in year 4. If there are people who want to jump into Countdown... Oh, I didn't realize we only had 4 people. Jeez. If more people want to jump in, I'm down to do a few more runs. I was going to do Conflict, but I'm down to do a few more runs if people want to jump in. And then I'll probably run a few Conflicts after that anyway. Go over here. What is that pulse wave you send out that disorients them? That is the Banshee Pulse skill that I'm running in my right slot there. Oh my goodness. Easily one of my favorite skills in the game. It basically just, like you said, it just disorients anyone in front of you that's within the radius. It's a ton of fun. It's exclusive to the gunner specialization, so you do have to run that to get access to it. But yeah. If Avatar has a 7-year plan, then Star Wars is the biggest game ever made to explore all worlds in the franchise. Do you ever think Div 3 will happen? Regardless of how those games do, I think Div 3 will happen one day. It's not going to be for several years until some of that stuff wraps up. But I think Div 3 is definitely going to happen. But yeah, if those games do well, then that does nothing but help the chances of that for sure. You just turn your Xbox off, I'm sorry. No pressure. But if people want, yeah. I'm always happy for people to join in. I should have mentioned it earlier, but
I need you to get it back online.
There's always an invitation for that.
Now that you're in, we need to decrypt the safety protocols.
Just like the Slayer, exactly. You do YouTube full-time? I do not. I'm a full-time college student. And this is my... I'm very fortunate that I get to do this on the side because it's a ton of fun. But that is where the majority of my focus goes.
Evacuate the facility. 5 minutes to lockdown.
Proceed immediately to your nearest exit. Full lockdown imminent.
An agent is back online.
Can Massive survive if Star Wars fails? The thing with Ubisoft is that individual studios aren't really that determinative. Like, it's kind of whether the whole company is doing well or not. I think there's a lot of studios that have not put out as great of things as Massive has that are still out there making games, because it's really just about what values Ubisoft as an entire company, if that makes sense. That said, even if Star Wars and Avatar aren't beloved by everybody, I think those two games are going to do extremely well. Even though people are determined to say that no one cares about Avatar. Again, second movie just became the third most successful movie of all time, 13 years after the original. I have high confidence that that game is going to do very well. Rory coming in with another $20 donation. You are amazing. Thank you so much. That is super, super kind and generous of you. People are too kind on here. Thank you so much, Rory. I am super happy to hear that you've been enjoying the game and the stuff I make on here. So thank you, thank you. Just recently started playing SHG 66. At what level would you suggest moving from hard to challenging? What's up, Jasper? I mean, there's not necessarily a specific level that you have to be at. I would say what's probably more important is when your build feels ready for it. Like, whenever you're able to blast through hard missions and not have to use cover much and you're just kind of going, that's probably when it's time, I would say. If you were looking for a specific level, I'd say the most important things to do on the watch is just max out the weapon damage and armor gains first. So certainly once you're at 250, I think you should try out challenging at the very least. But I'd say most importantly is how it all feels, you know. That was when you thought Avatar 2 wasn't going to do well, yeah. And, like, that was certainly fair, and I think it was a risk for them to wait so long to do a sequel. Or to take so long to do it. But even after it's done that well, I still see people saying, like, someone on my video the other day said, yeah, the movie did alright, but it came out 2 months ago and there's already nobody talking about it. I'm like, is there any movie that comes out and people are just sitting there talking about it day in, day out? That's not how movies work. I think people are just kind of looking for excuses to say why they don't think Avatar is going to do well. If that's your opinion. That's fine. I just happen to think that if you put out a sequel 13 years later and it makes over $2 billion, the game adaptation made by the people who make some really technically fantastic games in The Division, I think it's going to do pretty well. It might not be the best game of all time or the most successful game of all time, but it doesn't have to be. So that's my stance on that. But I think both Avatar and Star Wars are going to be big helps for Ubisoft to kind of get their foot back in the door with things. And they kind of need that right now, so.
System disrupted. Heavily armed hostiles detected.
Avatar still won't be out for a little bit. I think I can't get a good sense on when they're going to release it, because it was supposed to be out in like December. It was supposed to coincide with the movie release recently, and that didn't happen. So I don't know if they're looking at like a summer deal, or I feel like an August, September might make sense for that, or they'll just wait till the end of the year. Either way, I'm sure we'll find out at Forward in June. Ubi has a lot of games that they're supposedly going to be releasing in this next fiscal year, and I don't know how they plan to stagger all those. Like, do they care if Heartland and Avatar come out around the same time? I have no idea. I don't know what they really what they really do there.
Rogue, fix your drone.
F-22 looks amazing. It's so boring. I mean, the first one wasn't known for its groundbreaking story, you know? For me, it's just about the immersion and all that. I thought the story was fine, though. I enjoyed it fine enough, but I can see your point. Jasper coming in with a membership, joining Rogue Studios. Welcome. Thank you so much for that. Very, very much appreciate it. If you weren't around earlier when I was telling people, feel free to join our Discord server, and if you link your YouTube account, you will now get access to the special Rogue Studios channel on there. But thank you so much for supporting like that. I greatly appreciate it.
System malfunctioning.
No worries, Phoenix. Sounds good.
System restored.
There's a loot stack back here I missed. Yeah, I think that, I mean, similar to the movie, unless it has some sort of groundbreaking story, I think the Avatar game is very much going to be that kind of game where it's like, this is a new level of, what on earth is happening there? They're like pushed down the stairs. It's going to be a new level of like technical spectacle that people buy just kind of to experience and walk around it and feel. I totally see that happening with the game. And hopefully on top of that, it has a cool story as well.
Shoot off a flare when you're ready for Torres to bring you home. Hold tight. Kilo inbound to your location.
Oh, I had my eye on the chopper. I just didn't want to overextend too much since there's only 4 of us. Who's getting beat up over here?
Torres is in position.
System malfunctioning.
Do you think certain videos on YouTube that say people are being banned for intermission are true or not?
System restored.
I don't know who's making those videos. I'm not in a position to say what kind of information they may or may not have. All I can say is from everything I've seen, the only people who are getting banned are people who took part in the Fei Lao or other exploitative farms like that. To my knowledge, the Anderson one was not included in that.
If it wasn't for you,
Was the chopper
we
there?
would have lost the power plant. Thank you, Agent.
Everyone said don't forget to call it, and I'm like, oh, we're good, and then it was just sitting there and I didn't go on. That's awkward. Well, GG's. I get too focused on taking everyone down, you know? That's funny.
Entering safe area.
Alright, we're an hour and a half in. If there's anybody on Xbox who wants to do a run, let's do one of those, and then I want to do a few conflict runs. Had to think about that. What's up, Megan? What is your opinions on E3 getting canceled? Definitely kind of sad. I mean, E3 was always kind of that big event that everyone looked forward to. I mean, it's nice that we're going to have all these shows still happening from the different people to look at. The one thing, someone raised this point to me the other day, and I think it is certainly true, at least for us Division fans. I hope with Heartland, they're able to come up with a good strategy to be able to market the game to people who aren't already Division fans or aren't even already Ubisoft fans. Because there's still a lot, like, I still get questions of people thinking that Heartland is like a Division 2 DLC, or they've just never even heard of it. Part of that is that they've never started their official, like, marketing campaign because it's been pushed back a lot. So hopefully once they do, it'll be more broadly recognized. But if the only place that they're going to drop big Heartland news is Ubisoft Forward, which is now not a part of E3, but is just its own event that you have to, like, know about to tune into, I just hope they have some sort of a plan to be able to market that to a wider audience. Because Heartland does, I think, need a wider audience to check it out to really get the kind of buzz that we need and want it to. So that's more of like a personal Division take on the E3 thing. But overall, it is kind of sad. Oh, I think there's plenty of space, Michael. Anybody on Xbox wants to jump in, feel free. Drop your gamer tag in the chat. How Heartland isn't a cover-based shooter, just a RPG shooter. Well, you might be in the wrong franchise verse. From the trailer that we have of Heartland back at Ubisoft Forward in September, there is cover present in there that they're using. So hate to disappoint you there, but Division is very much based around cover. I mean, there's still, like, there's ways to play Div 1 and 2 out of cover. That's what I do a lot of the time. But cover is definitely always present. Remind me of the gamer tag, Michael. There we go. Thank you. And last call if anybody else on Xbox wants in. We will do one more of these, and then I want to run a few conflict games. Very much appreciate all of the love and the likes this stream, though. We still have over 130 people watching, almost at 130 likes. Y'all are the best. Thank you for being here. There we go. William wants in. Let's get it. Got the squad rolling. Dope.
Agent is now in your group.
All right, I take it that is the last of the people there.
Another agent has joined your group.
Oh, okay. Well, Verse, I thought you meant, like, you just don't want there to be a cover system. Like, you didn't want that to be part of the game at all. Because Division 1 is marketed as a cover-based shooter, but like I said, there are definitely ways you can play out of cover. If you're just talking about in terms of actual gameplay, we know that from the trailer, Heartland is a survival action shooter, and that, assumedly, NPCs will not have those kind of artificial tankiness applied to them because it's not so much RPG based. So we'll see. Hard to say for now. If we do get more gameplay at E3, or sorry, at Ubisoft Forward, hopefully you'll be able to analyze it more and kind of see if it'll be up your alley. All right, let's get it. Oh, sorry, I missed your question, Roy. What can you farm in Countdown? Basically the way that Division 2 works with loot, there's what's called the general loot pool, which has a vast amount of items in it. And pretty much every single thing you can play in the end game is part of the general loot pool. So Countdown, Summit, the open world missions, everything can get items from the general loot pool. That includes a lot of exotics. That includes a lot of other things. There's a few exceptions to the general loot pool. Like PvP exclusive items, so Dark Zone and Conflict. the raid exclusive items, those exotics, stuff like that. But for the most part, the vast majority of items are in the general loot pool, and the general loot pool is applicable to every end-game piece of content, including Countdown and stuff like that. So yes, you can absolutely get exotics from Countdown. And everything is further influenced by targeted loot. So because you can choose what kind of loot you're targeting in Countdown and stuff like that, it helps even more. Like if you say you want to get the Memento backpack, well, you can just target backpacks and you have a better chance. Think the day before is even a real game in your opinion? Is there some game that they're going to release that's called the day before? Yes. I think the problem they've had is that they very much used an inaccurate representation of the game to market it so far. And whatever does release is not going to be nearly as technically advanced as they said it was going to be from the start. And that was kind of evident in the most recent gameplay stuff they released, where it just didn't really look, it looked very lifeless and not like what they teased 2 years ago. I think that's what we're going to get, which I think a lot of people will be underwhelmed by. Okay, what are we doing? Cooling tower. What is the point of doing the power plant? I've done it a few times. I don't understand the point of it. So, Dolphin, this is part of the countdown game mode, which basically you get a 15-minute timer slapped onto your game, as you can see up in the upper left corner there. And all you have to do, there are 2 encounters, they call them, at the top that you have to complete. They're randomly selected every time, so this time it's laboratory, cooling tower, and turbine. All you need to do is at least complete 2 of them, and then that unlocks the final objective, which in this case is the reactor. You can see it here, but it's random every time. And if you can do all 3 of those within 15 minutes, then you win, quote-unquote. And then it guides you to an extraction point, and you have an additional 4 minutes to call in the helicopter and get out. And obviously throughout there's a ton of ads and NPCs. There's hunters you fight at the extraction to make it even more challenging. So you're really just trying to make it through and not die. And complete all that stuff within the 15 minutes. Otherwise the reactor, you know, lore-wise, it's like the reactor melted down and you failed to save the power plant. And along the way you get a bunch of loot. You get to choose your own target loot. All that. If Heartland doesn't have RogueGold NPC agent, I won't play it. Most rare commander in operations. That's very kind. Wouldn't that be cool one day to get some sort of like an in-game thing? Not that I would ever expect that. I don't want to make it sound that way. But they have done that before with like the shield splinter in Div 2 as a reference to Splinter Shield in the community. Awesome guy. So that's very sweet of you guys to say. It's not called the day before. That's what's so weird, Powerbomb, is that their whole thing was, yeah, we have a trademark dispute, so we can't release it. But everything they've done since then, like they saw they were at the, what was it? Was it Unreal's presentation or something? They're still using the name. They're like, oh, this game's going to have it in that game, and the day before. It's like, well, if you don't own the trademark, why are you still using the name? It just further reinforces the fact that I don't trust like hardly anything they've said about that game or what's holding it up or anything like that. I don't even know. It's super weird. No problem, Dolphin. No problem at all. Yeah, Countdown is a standalone game mode, so it doesn't play like the rest of the game, but it's just a cool side experience that myself and a lot of other people enjoy. And it's very popular for farming. That's why a lot of people play it a lot. Because it gives you those short 15-minute sessions while still giving you a lot of loot. The NVIDIA presentation, yeah. Thank you. Where does the RogueGold name originate from? Alright, the very lame origin story for the RogueGold name. was that back around that time, I was thinking of doing a channel, but I'm like, every good channel needs a good name. I got to think of a good name. Around that time, I was about to, or there was a lot of talk about the new iPhone that was coming out and how they were adding a rose gold color option for the iPhone. I think it was like the 6 or the 6S or something. And so obviously I love going rogue in the dark zone. That was my favorite thing to do in Div. And so I'm like, rose gold, rogue gold. And it clicked and the rest is history. Kind of lame, but that's the that is the story. That's definitely what they've used it for so far, Postman. Eiffel, they have Prop Hunt is one of their games. I think that's the only one that's like currently supported right now. They also have like a Continental app that they promote in one of their day before videos. It's just all very odd. It's super weird. Johnny Lee, can you share your build after this run? I can. Also, though, if you want it, in the pinned comment in the chat here is the build video on this build. So if you want to see the full breakdown of everything, feel free to like open that in another tab or whatever, and you can fully check it out after the stream. But I can show the build after this. Yeah, no problem. Every time I go into Countdown, I get no teammates. So you have to make sure you actually matchmake before you enter in. Like when you open up the menu, it'll say start matchmaking or create a group. If you create a group and you just launch it, you're not going to get any teammates. You have to make sure you either create a group and get people to join you, or just join someone else's group and have them start it.
Target approaching. Area secure.
Agent, you should be able to access the reactor.
All right, let's hit that reactor. My PSN comes from Warhammer 40k instead for the Emperor. Nice. That's awesome. Name lore in like video games and gamer tags is always super fun. It's cool that everyone has like a story for how they got their name.
Agent, you've reached the reactor. I need you to get it back online.
TT, what's going on? Any reason for a mainly PvE player to look forward to Heartland, or do I need to play a lot more DZ and Conflict to prep? All I can say on that is that from what we know in the information that's been released by Ubisoft is that there is going to be some amount of PvE included in the game. They've pitched it as a PvPvE survival action shooter. So in many ways, I would say anticipate an experience kind of like what Survival was in the Division 1. Obviously, we know it's going to be very different than that, but the amount of PvE and PvP that was involved in that, I would say you can probably look forward to in Heartland, and hopefully we find out more at Ubisoft Forward. But it certainly won't be exclusively PvP. We know that there will be PvE in there as well. I don't know, Postman. You might have to explain that one. No, I think it works as a great name though.
I need you to destroy whatever the hell that thing is called. You'll need to run the sequence twice.
Evacuate the facility. 5 minutes to lockdown.
Proceed immediately to your nearest exit.
How to get your damage on the side? I can show you in just a second.
Great work, Agent.
It's very easy, but it does really help with your aiming, in my opinion. You go settings UI, scrolling combat text, it's by random sphere on default, and floating will give you that effect on the side. So you just go settings and UI.
Rogue
It's right there.
trap detected. Hostile explosive trap detected.
All right.
Nice. The plant's secure. Now let's get you out of there. Move to the extraction.
Does using a shotgun build help build stacks faster for striker versus using a rifle? Yes. Yes, it does. So that's why you'll see my secondary on here. I'm using a striker build. I have one of these ACS 12s as my secondary so that if I ever need to build up stacks fast, I could just lay into an enemy and then swap back to my assault rifle and use that damage. So yes, absolutely, stacks build faster with a shotgun. Coney Island was the best DLC they released. They should open up that area. For me, it's tough between... Coney was awesome, but I also really did like... Camp White Oak is my favorite mission in the game just because of the environment. I really like it. And the zoo is super fun too. So I had a lot of love for that first one. But definitely Coney, for me, is a close second, if not tied. The Pentagon was definitely the least interesting of them all. Though they will get a chance to kind of redeem themselves a bit with that, with the Descent mode, because we know that's going to be in the DARPA labs, so we are going back to the Pentagon, which will be cool. But yeah, Camp White Oak is my favorite mission of the game, and the Coney Amusement Park is my second, so I got a lot of love for both of them. Oh, I did not mean to deconstruct that. That's awkward. They should do more with New York. Yeah, I agree. We were talking about that earlier. And I want to talk about that in a video soon. But I agree, more New York would be awesome. Oh my lord.
Medical assistance needed.
I got way too
Agent down.
way too comfortable there.
System reactivated.
I think Heartland's getting no news because they're changing the game to be new gen only. I've seen a few suggest that theory. It's not impossible. I don't know what to think about that. I feel like there's less pressure to make that transition with a free-to-play game. There's a hunter behind us here. So yeah, I don't know. Definitely not impossible. But I don't know how much pressure there is to make that transition when that would result in a loss of revenue. Especially for a free-to-play game where you're really reliant on a lot of people checking the game out. I don't know how much risk that would involve with then cutting out 2 entire platforms of potential players. Whereas with, you know, with Avatar, for example, we know that's going to be next gen only because they need the extra, like, they need the proficiency of the new hardware to really pull off what they're wanting to do. Then there's more incentives. People are like, oh, it's a next gen game. It's using all this stuff. I don't know if Heartland is really striving for that kind of technical spectacle more than they're just putting it together a cool game. So I'm not sure.
Hold tight. Kilo inbound to your location.
I agree 100%, Casey. Div 1 has the superior atmosphere by far.
Torres is in position.
What's up, Moods? This is a Striker Eagle Bear build that's a ton of fun. If you want the full breakdown, it's actually the video that's in the pinned comment in the chat right there. You'll see I pinned it there. So feel free to check that out for the full breakdown. But I'm also happy to show it as soon as I extract here. Alright, I won't forget to hook this time. Yeah, we're good now. Hello from Detroit. What's up, Michael? Thank you for tuning in. Cool. No problem, Moose.
Detected.
All right. For the people who are just in that run, thank you for playing. If you want to do Conflict, that's what I'm going to jump into now for a few games. Probably just like 2. So if you want to play that, let me know, and I'm happy to invite you. But if not, no worries, because I know it's a bit of a different beast. Yeah, thank you for joining, William. So yeah, William and Michael and who else joined? Sorry, I forgot who it was. But if you want in on Conflict, just say in the chat, and I'll reinvite you. Are there any missions that never become invaded? Yeah, I think, well, obviously none of the New York ones do. And then originally, the episode 1 ones didn't, White Oak and Zoo. And then it was like a later update. Here's this one. It was a later update where they added the ability for those to go invaded. So Coney and Pentagon never become invaded. They never added those versions. To my knowledge, those are the only ones that don't. It should just be Pentagon, Coney, and New York that don't go invaded. All right, William and Michael are in for Conflict. If anybody else wants in on Xbox, we have 1 slot. Come on now, game. Yes, on Xbox. I think
You have been promoted to group leader.
there is not crossplay,
You are
unfortunately.
now group leader. Another agent has joined your group.
Yeah, I mean that certainly could be why they never did it, is because it already has Black Tusk. Although the original White Oak is Black Tusk, and they have an invaded version for that. So certainly not a strict rule. I watched your PvP guide video and I managed to kill 15 rogues in the DZ just now. Vanilla, that is fantastic. I love to hear that. I am super glad it was helpful. I'm gonna get wrecked. No pressure, William. It's all just for fun. Just don't. All I can say is you can't play passive enough in conflict. Don't feel too pressured to like run out there, because there's no radar in there, so you could definitely kind of play hide and seek. And so the more you can kind of surprise the enemy, the better result you're going to get there. You do have to accept the matchmaking thing. I don't know if we did already. But don't, make sure you don't get kicked out there.
An agent is no longer in your group.
Oh. You gotta accept the matchmaking thing, Michael. You've got it. Cry, we got a full stack. That's what I like to see. But yeah, just keep in mind, once I hit the thing, we all have to accept the
Another agent has joined your group.
matchmaking queue for it to go in. Otherwise, they'll kick you. I'm just saying, I'm going to show my sticky build up to 14 million damage. No ninja. That sounds pretty sweet, Tommy. All right. There we go. Be sure to accept that on the D-pad. What would you say is the best way to farm for faction keys? Honestly, if anybody in the chat has a good answer to that, I cannot really recall a good way to farm faction keys. Do they drop from bosses? Oh, you're good, Michael. Don't worry. I'll never forget entering the Div 1 DZ for the first time. Yeah, it was awesome. I have a feeling that throughout my life, no memories are ever going to surpass the Div 1 DZ for me, as far as gaming is concerned. The sewer runs, that's right. So, yeah, sewer runs in DC get you a lot because there's those boxes on the wall. So I know this one is good. If you go to either of those underground entrances and run through there, you'll get a good amount. I think, where is it? This one? One of the ones over here is also very good. Yeah. I think if you search that up on YouTube, there's tons of guides about it from, years ago when everyone was doing that. So if you search faction key farms, you should find out which exact ones. But I know the one south of the White House is really good. West Potomac sewers. Down here. Okay, yeah. According to chat, these ones are good too. I haven't done that in a long time, so I apologize for not being able to give the most precise information there. Heroic bounties, faction bosses, yeah. So there's a good amount of ways you can get them. Cool, cool. Apparently no one's playing middle of the day on a Friday. Yeah, I think mine are all max too. I don't really ever open those things. So I've not had to worry about that in a while. Well, we might only do one game here, depending on how long it takes to get in. We shall see.
Thank you for your cooperation.
Jay, have a fantastic rest of your Friday and weekend. I appreciate you hanging out. Thank you, thank you. Dang, what is going on here? Usually I'm able to boast against the dead gamers because you find a conflict game within like 30 seconds normally. This is taking a long time. There we go. I just had to complain about it. Everyone that's jumping out, have a fantastic day. Thank you for hanging out. Let's get it. We're going against a full clan stack. What does that mean? Full hazard build. Another full hazard build. I got stuck in that one. Alright, well don't use skills because they've all got hazard. Complaining shall receive, indeed. Well, I don't want to promote that too much because then my comments are going to get even more toxic, but... All right. Video on all of your builds. I've kind of done that just recently. I did a like top 5 build videos in 2023, and it was super popular. People loved it. So if you check out that playlist, I have that, and I have individual videos on pretty much all the builds I use. Yeah, I'm gonna need to talk to the server manager at Ubisoft here. This is a video and more of a movie.
Capture and hold the points to win this.
Let's get it. Oh, we actually got domination. Heck yeah.
The objectives
Well, let's just stay and get A then. We'll play it safe. Sweet. I haven't played domination in a freaking minute. No worries, Rory. Yeah, I put it out at the start of January. And it's like now my second most viewed video of all time. Super awesome that people found that helpful.
Point Alpha.
We've been pulsed, so someone is pushing from somewhere.
Enemy hands.
Detected. Hostile defender drone.
They're behind us today. If anyone can go on that, I'm gonna
Agent needs assistance.
sneak up and steal B here. Maybe take C while I'm at it.
Agent down.
Point Bravo was captured by your team.
And I'll take C too, since they're not gonna get it.
An agent needs assistance. Serious trauma detected.
That was close. I need to take this quick before he respawns.
Agent down.
Point Charlie is now held by your team. Point Bravo has been captured by the enemy.
Question is, where do I hide to not get seen? Oh lord. They saw me. Almost got him.
Hostile explosive seeker mine detected.
Point Charlie has been captured by the enemy.
Targets out of cover tends to be the more popular one, Dirk.
Point Alpha is
I don't think there's necessarily a rhyme or reason between them. I mean, logically, you know, you think about, would you rather have damage to someone's armor or when they're not in cover, and think about where that'd be the most useful. What is this? There, thank you. Oh, goodness. Alright, well, we need the boost and more points, so I'm going to go work on that if you guys want to hold A.
An agent needs assistance. The enemy is acquiring the boost.
No, I thought I was going to be able to get him while he's grabbing it. That's tough.
Agent incapacitated. Agent down.
Yeah, domination's tough if you're playing against a team that's super coordinated and can communicate and all that. So maybe I shouldn't have voted that. Oh, he is one shot beyond belief. There we go.
Agent down.
All right, that's a good comeback. That was a team wipe. So I'm gonna move on B and try and get that while they're respawning. They're gonna push up from one of the sides here. Watch to your right, Savan. Yep.
An agent needs assistance.
I'm just gonna do a little. Oh, foam, we love you.
Assistance needed.
Not.
Agent incapacitated. Agent down.
The enemy is halfway to winning this.
Agent vital signs 0.
The coordinate team's like playing Valorant and Div 2.
I'm sending you a specialization
I mean, you know,
to supply drop.
more power to him. That's ideally that's how it should be. You want there to be an actual skill gap and for team play to mean something. But that was on me to pick. I probably should have not voted for domination to begin with. You got a better chance in skirmish and that kind of a setup.
Immediate medical assistance needed. Agent incapacitated. Agent vital signs 0.
Jacob, how's it going? Hello to yourself.
Agent down.
Oh boy, is this where the spawn camp begins?
Rogue explosive seeker mine detected. Hostile explosive seeker mine detected. An agent needs assistance.
Supply drop is being claimed by the enemy.
Rogue defender drone detected. Hostile defender drone detected.
The specialization supply drop is being taken by the enemy.
You know, they got the spec drop because why not? I think they need even more buffs.
The enemy is too strong. We might have to pull you out. The enemy is close to you.
More foam, please, please. We all love the foam. I thought I was in cover. That's awkward. I was gonna do a run back.
Detected. Agent out of action.
Hey, Michael, thank you so much for hanging out. Hope you have a phenomenal work day and weekend.
An agent needs
And I'll see you on the
assistance.
next one. Yeah, I should have gone skirmish. It's just you never get to play domination, so I always kind of just vote for it out of spite. I'm like, no one ever votes dom. Now, if this was 8v8 and there were dynamic spawns and it was a bit more like Last Stand, that would be pretty sweet. Yeah, you can't stand there with that debuff and think you're gonna get us like that. There we go. Oh, he's one shot. He's one shot. Nice.
Agent out of action.
Oh yeah, Last Stand is the GOAT game mode. Alright, GG's everybody. I was going to try and do another one, but I do need to run. I gotta get some stuff going.
To fight another day.
Tough loss, but still fun. Still fun. So hard to get a match. On Xbox, they do a Throwback Thursday event where a bunch of us jump in. But only on Xbox, unfortunately. But anyway, everybody, thank you all so much for hanging out. We'll jump out of here and open our caches real quick. Cry, William, and Michael, thank you so much for jumping in and playing. Very fun. And everyone pulled up. That's what we like to see. Yeah. So I'll be here for, and if anyone has any last minute questions you want to throw in, now's the time. Well, I crack these open really quick.
Safe area entered.
No, just one, I guess.
Backup request.
That didn't take long. All right. Glad to hear it, Michael. Yeah, thank you guys all so much. Super awesome stream. As always, tons of generosity and kindness that is extremely appreciated. And thank you all for chatting. We talked about a lot of great stuff. That's always what I like to do on here. So I started some Throwback Thursday vids. Nice. I'll try and check them out, Andrew. Sweet, sweet. To anyone who became a member or donated, thank you so much for your generosity. I hope you know that doesn't go unnoticed. And to everyone hanging out, appreciate you. So, enjoy everyone's steal time. Y'all are too nice. Casey, Ramon, Apples, William, Ryan, Andrew, Vanilla, Felix, Michael, Postman, Jacob, Bearded, Cry, Other Michael, William, Dirt, Powerbomb, Verse, Jay, Lucas, Blue, Rob, Phoenix, everybody that's in here earlier. You know who you are. Very much appreciate you being here. I got some good videos coming in the next few days. More stuff. Hopefully we get the PTS soon. Descent is going to be awesome. Just smacked my headset into the mic, because why not? So yeah, have a great rest of your day and weekend, everybody, and I will see you very soon. Until the next one, guys, RogueGold out.